Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Intuition Unleashed, a revolution in personal liberation. I am your host, Beck Nelson, and welcome to the show. So, this episode does not include any guests. This is just me. And I always know when I experience something personally and work my way through it, that it is probably a learning that I also need to share with my audience because like attracts like. So, if I needed to learn this lesson, then it's probably also helpful for you to learn this lesson for your highest and best good and to bring energy to you and to use your own intuition. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the universal laws. So you may not be familiar with the universal laws, but basically the universal laws are very similar to the physical laws. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So first of all, to understand universal laws, you have to understand that everything has both a physical and a spiritual component to it. That includes people, objects, etc. So physical components of anything are dictated by physical laws that you are familiar with, such as the law of gravity and the law of motion, which most people are familiar with because we're taught these laws in school, in physics, etc. So a lot of us are, of course, you understand and you work with the law of gravity because if you didn't, you might climb a ladder and fall and not understand that everything is dictated by gravity. So you need to understand those laws to stay safe. Spiritual laws are a little bit different because they deal with the energetic body, and spiritual laws are dictated by what we call the universal laws. So many people tend to dismiss the validity of universal laws because it deals with energy, and energy, for the most part, cannot be seen. So a lot of people have a hard time believing what they cannot see. But I'm here to tell you that the universal laws are very real. And let me tell you some how they applied to my life, and then it would also be helpful for you to apply these to your life. Things become much easier when you understand the universal laws and work with them to your advantage. And let me kind of explain a little bit more what that means. So let me talk about today specifically, I'm talking about the law of attraction. The law of attraction became a bit more of a household name, and people understood it when the book The Secret came out in 2006. And then that universal law of abundance, not only was there a book called The Secret, but there was also a movie called The Secret, which was all about the universal law of attraction. And also there were Oprah talked about the universal law of attraction and how to use the secret on her show and things like that. So we understood how the law of attraction works, which is basically, in a nutshell, like attracts like. So, what I want to talk a little bit more today is a little bit more about a component of the law of attraction, which you need to understand to make the law of attraction work. And that is a subset of the universal law, which is the vacuum law. So, they sometimes refer to it as the vacuum law of prosperity. It's a law that states that abundance will flow into your life when you create a vacuum for it. So, you will only ever receive what you put out. So, the more you put out, the more you will get back. It's simple physics. Like attracts like. If you put out positive energy, you'll receive positive energy in return. So essentially, that means that in order to attract whatever it is that you want to have in your life, you have to make room for it. So this means learning how to release old limiting beliefs and thought patterns that are keeping you from receiving. So this is an important component of the law of attraction that most people miss. You have to make room for new energy by getting rid of some old energy. And these could be beliefs, or these could be actual things that whatever you're putting your energy into, whatever you are still not releasing. So I'm going to tell you about how this is affecting me personally right now, and then you can kind of apply this to your own life. So for the past over 13 years, I have had a mental health practice called Hope Counseling that's here in Rhode Island that we started over 13 years ago. And over the past year or so, maybe the past couple of years, but definitely within the past year, I started to notice two things. One is that I started to say, I really want a business that is based more on a model of spiritual and mental health and a coaching and mentoring type of model rather than a counseling type of model. And what I started to notice is as I realized that I wanted to go with more of a mentoring and coaching type of model, my my business, the mental health business, started to not do so well. Things, particularly since COVID started 3 years ago, I was noticing that I was losing staff members and not able to bring on new staff members. It became more difficult to attract new staff members. And there's a variety of reasons for that, but ultimately, I was not able to get and retain staff the way that I had in the past. I was going to have to make some big changes in our model of how I ran the mental health business in order to attract and bring on more staff. And things were, including the rent and all of our utilities, were getting more and more expensive. And as I was losing staff, my bills were going up. At the same time, I also noticed that our insurance payments, our reimbursements from the insurance companies, because that's the model that we were working on, insurance based, those payments that we were getting from the insurance companies were not exponentially going up to meet the demands of the increases of our bills. In fact, some of the insurance payments were not going up at all and had not gone up in the entire time that we had been in business. So a number of things were happening at the same time, and I was growing more and more despondent and sort of depressed that my business seemed to be falling apart. But what I realized in reading more about the universal laws is that I was putting out into the universe, I really want more of a coaching model, a mentoring model that's based in both mental health and spirituality. And the way that I was running my business was really not working anymore in conjunction with what I was telling the universe I really wanted. So things appeared to be falling apart, but really, what was happening is that the universe was bringing me what it was that I'm saying that I wanted. But in order to get that, it appears as if what I currently have was falling apart. So it wasn't really that things were falling apart, it's that they were falling together. And what I need you to understand for yourself is that this happens in life every day. I mean, people will come to me and say, if the universe wants me, if I'm telling the universe, I want good things for myself and I want blessings, then why did I just lose my boyfriend just broke up with me and I just lost my job within a month of each other? So what I would tell that person is, what's happening is the universe is trying to give you what you're looking for, a job and a boyfriend or a relationship that is going to bless you. And the universe cannot bring you those things that you're looking for unless you're willing to give up some of the energy of the job that you've been complaining about since I've been working with you, and the boyfriend that you constantly told me was not meeting your needs and could sometimes be verbally abusive. So what happens is, when things appear to be falling apart, they're actually making room for something else to come in. And the vacuum law says that until you release that energy, the energy of what you don't want, you're not able to bring in what it is that you do want. So what I'm saying to you is, what is it that you are still holding on to that you need to release in order to bring good things into your life? What energy are you clinging on to that's keeping you from being able to live your best life? And what do you need to change so that you can bring in the energy of what you're looking for into your life? In my particular case, I actually told my landlord in this, we had signed a year lease back in July, and I had to break my lease, which unfortunately meant that he was going to be keeping my security deposit, but I needed to release all that energy because I was putting so much of me into the mental health business that I really I'm not feeling with my heart anymore. And I really want to expand and be able to do the spirituality and the mentoring piece in conjunction with that. And to be able to do that, I needed to let go of the energy of the business that had served me. I'm certainly grateful for all the people that we've been able to help and all the blessings that we've received. And when we started the business, it certainly was what we were looking for. It blessed me for many years, but I needed to continue to grow. And the only way I could do that was to let go of the energy of my current practice the way it is, in my business the way that it is. So I encourage you to look at what it is that you need to let go of so that you can bring in the energy of what it is that you really want, because like attracts like. And if you're willing to work with the universal laws, they will bless you. So I would love to see in the comments here, if you're looking at this on YouTube, put in the comments what it is that you had some experiences like this where you realize that things are not falling apart for you. They're actually falling together, and the universe is helping you make that room to be able to find blessings for you. So thanks for joining me today. I would love to hear your comments and feedback. Thanks. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Intuition Unleashed. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking. But before you go, we have a little challenge for you. Most of us have sneaky little habits that hold us back and trip us up, so why not take this not at all uncomfortable quiz to find out what you do to derail yourself from achieving your goals and how you can call yourself on your own BS. Get to know your self-sabotage specialty and take the first step towards getting out of the way of your own success. Just visit becknelson.com/quiz and take the quiz now. That's becknelson.com/quiz. We can't wait to see your results. And as always, we'll be back next week with more Intuition Unleashed. Thanks for listening.